welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, your host for the program. We really have an outstanding show lined up today. Jerry Bologna, who is the Executive Director for JEDCO, he's going to be talking about the new JEDCO plan that's going into place for Jefferson Parish. Lydia Blackmore. Lydia is the new Decorative Arts Curator for the Historic New Orleans Collection. Julia Bland, everybody knows Julia if you live in New Orleans because she is the CEO for the world-famous Louisiana Children's Museum. They just won a huge award. She'll be talking about that and some other programs they've got coming up. Erica McConduit Diggs is the President and CEO of the Urban League of Greater New Orleans. They do an incredible job for the city, and they're involved in a program called Enroll NOLA. Cox is very proud to be involved in that program too. And finally, Michelle Gagne. Michelle is the Executive Director for just an outstanding organization in New Orleans, Bridge House, Grace House. She's going to be sharing some success stories from Bridge House, Grace House, and a top female achievers program they've got coming up. You'll want to be a part of that. And again, a great show lined up today. Steve Sawyer. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Across Louisiana. Always a pleasure to have Mr. Jerry Bologna on the show. Jerry is the Executive Director for JEDCO, and Jerry, just again, congratulations always when you come on the show. We like to point out all the wonderful things that you guys are doing in Jefferson Parish. I know you've got a big project coming up, Jefferson Edge 2020. We're going to jump right into it. Talk about what that is and why that's so important.
Sure. Thanks for having us. The Jefferson Edge is exciting. In fact, it's well underway now. And what the Jefferson Edge is our long-term economic development strategic plan for Jefferson Parish. Started back in 2000, we took a look, and we have taken a look every 5 years and updated that plan. What are the things that we're going to focus on? Where do we want the parish to be 5 years from now? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're in the process of doing right now. It's 2015, so we're taking a look through 2020. Where do we want to be? So we have now identified through a series of stakeholder meetings, meeting with business people throughout the parish, meeting with elected officials, the civic community, all of those groups have come together, and we're crafting that plan. The industries or the clusters that we see ourselves focusing on the next 5 years include things like healthcare, particularly destination healthcare, IT and digital media. Food manufacturing is a big one. People don't realize the amount of food manufacturing that we have here in Jefferson Parish. So those are some of the clusters that we'll be focusing on.
What did you see different from the last 5-year plan up until now?
So the last 5-year plan really incorporated a lot of the post-Katrina work. So what we had identified 5 years ago really was a focus on quality of life initiatives. So, for example, a lot of the beautification efforts you've seen throughout Jefferson,
and there have been many.
The public artwork along the major thoroughfares, that was all part of the Jefferson Edge. That was spelled out through the Jefferson Edge. Improvements in the educational offerings throughout the parish, charter schools, those types of things were all part of that Jefferson Edge 5 years ago. Now we're sort of moving off of that quality of life, strictly quality of life focus, getting back to some of the core economic development.
And you really nothing, we know the 10-year Katrina anniversary's coming up. I mean, you really don't incorporate anything from that, do you?
No.
It's over.
No, that is over with. Okay. Now, I will say one of the clusters that has been identified is dealing with water management and coastal restoration, and that is certainly going to be a topic for many years to come. And how do we address that? How do we take things like the PP oil settlement funds and put that to good use with coastal restoration?
Would you say the parish is in better shape now than it's been in even before pre-Katrina? I mean, we've learned a lot from then and so forth.
Sure, absolutely. By just about every metric, whether it's per capita income or number of business startups, we're up in just about every category. So we're certainly in a better position there. But we need to continue to focus on things like workforce development, different items that'll help continue to catapult us.
Okay. Jerry, the website is www.jedco.org. We'll put that on the screen. All information about JEDCO, the incubator, and I mean, we could go on and on and on.
You can
find
a lot
of information on that website. Jerry, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Again, congratulations on all the success you guys are having, just doing a wonderful job for Jefferson Parish. Stay with us. We got a few more guests. We'll be right back. to Across Louisiana. Very happy to have Lydia Blackmore with us. Lydia is the Decorative Arts Curator for the Historic New Orleans Collection. You've been in the position for about a year now. And I'm told, I read this was the first time that the collection has had a Decorative Arts Curator.
Yes, I'm the first curator of decorative arts at the collection, and it's just been part of the evolution of the institution. We were founded almost 50 years ago from a private collection of art and documents and maps of Louisiana and New Orleans and the broader Gulf South. And throughout that time, they collected decorative arts, three-dimensional objects, but we've just grown to a point in the past few years that they decided to bring on someone specifically to focus on that part of the collection.
I know you've got some big events coming up, but let me ask, if someone wants to ask about the New Orleans collection, like what are some of the core programs you're involved in? What would some of those be?
Yeah, the Historic New Orleans Collection is a research center, it's a museum, and it's a publisher. But if you come to the Historic New Orleans Collection, we have two locations actually in the French Quarter. On Royal Street we have our museum, which has our permanent exhibit on the history of Louisiana. It covers 300 years of Louisiana history, plus some changing exhibitions. And we also have a historic house on that property at Royal Street, which was the home of our founders, Leela and Kemper Williams, from 1946 to 64.
Okay, well let's talk about, I know you got some big events coming up, so let's talk about those real quick.
Yeah. We have Antiques Forum. The New Orleans Antiques Forum is coming up at the end of July, from July 30th to August 2nd. And the topic this year is It's Only Natural. So we'll have lots of speakers about natural elements in decorative arts, from chair legs to picture frames and silver. So it will be very interesting. Unfortunately, we just sold out a week ago, but yes, anybody can come for free to my exhibit, which is going up at the same time as Antiques Forum, called It's Only Natural, Flora and Fauna in Louisiana Decorative Arts. And that exhibit is showing off some of the great pieces that we have from our collection that are covered in flowers and animals and leaves, and it's amazing when you start looking at stuff how much nature is copied onto it.
Hey, the website is www.hnoc.org.
Yes.
Before we run out of time, and we'll put that up on the screen, all the information for the Historic New Orleans Collection can be found on the website, history of the collection and events that are coming up. I know you mentioned the one is sold out, so I'm sure it would give that information as well. But just for our viewers, that's a great site to go to for everything, anything you want to know about the Historic New Orleans
It's a
Collection.
great site. It has information about all of our different buildings, and it even has our online catalog, so you can search and see what documents we have or what paintings we have that you might want to come and see in person.
Okay, great information. Lydia, thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. We greatly appreciate it. We've got a few more guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Across Louisiana. Always a pleasure to have Miss Julia Bland on the show. Julia is the CEO for just a wonderful place that New Orleans has, the Louisiana Children's Museum, and you guys do such an incredible job. I wish we had time, wish we had 30 minutes we could talk, because we could. But congratulations, because I just read where you guys won like a huge award.
We were recently given the National Medal, which is the highest compliment that a museum can get,
That's
a museum
phenomenal.
of any kind across America.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. It was given out at the White House by Michelle Obama, given by the Institute of Museum and Library Services for the community work that we do. So really exciting, and
great news for New Orleans.
Great news for New Orleans. It's our city's medal.
Yeah, that's great. You've always got good programs going on, and I just will mention that we'll put the website lcm.org on the screen, because you can find anything and everything. But I do want to talk about, you've got Cherish the Children coming up, a couple of big events. Talk about those real quick.
Cherish the Children is such a wonderful hallmark in our calendar of events throughout the year. This year it's the 22nd of August, starts at 7 p.m. in the evening at the museum, 420 Julia Street. And we play on that word cherish. So we have had very distinctive chairs. This year, some of those chairs are honoring 5 wonderful New Orleanians who have helped to make our city a stronger place for children to grow up in the last 10 years. So it will have a little different spin on it. It's a night of silver linings. But it's a great fundraiser for the museum, a fun party, a time to celebrate, and that's really a highlight in our calendar. So we're excited about it. We have a full range of prices, but it is a fundraiser, so we love people to come in as sponsors or patrons, and that information is on the website too. It's just a real delight of activities.
Yeah, and Katrina Voices, that's got to be big coming up.
It's a very different experience for us. We're going to have an exhibition throughout the month of August where we listen to the voices of children as they talk about their experience in a disaster. So we will be hearing from 4 to 10-year-olds 10 years later, who of course are now 14 to 20-year-olds. And it's a very participatory type of exhibition. One aimed at thinking about what makes New Orleans a resilient city and what do we want for the future in this city, what are the promises for our children. We'll also have a chance for anybody to come and tell their story on a videotape, but we will have these collected stories.
That's incredible.
So it'll be a fun and I think very uplifting kind of experience, very thoughtful.
It'd be interesting here if you were 4 years old, now that you're 14, your reflections. Wow.
Right.
Julia, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We always love having you. Again, the website is www.lcm.org. All the information about one of the most incredible museums in New Orleans can be found on the website. Congratulations again on the award. We've got a couple more guests. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Across Louisiana. Always a pleasure for us to have Miss Erica McConduit Diggs on the show. Erica is the president and CEO of the Urban League of Greater New Orleans. We could do an hour show on everything the Urban League does, but I know this show we want to focus on a program that you guys are involved in called Enroll NOLA. It's a very exciting program. Tell us a little bit about it and how the Urban League's involved and some of the things that people need to know about this program.
Absolutely. So Enroll NOLA is the Recovery School District, their umbrella program, if you will, that manages all of the enrollment activities. So certainly the One App system is housed under the larger umbrella of Enroll NOLA. The Urban League and several other community partners were really engaged from the beginning in making sure that the city instituted a common application process to streamline enrollment for families. And so out of that birthed One App and then subsequently Enroll NOLA. And why it's so important to talk today is because this is the last opportunity. It's late enrollment, and we want to make sure that families have all the information they need to get their kids enrolled in school.
And it sounds odd that here it is July, but this is late enrollment. I'm glad you pointed that out.
So we've already had 2 rounds of One App, and so families had an opportunity to list their school options, and then the matches happened, and then a subsequent round 2 took place, and those decisions were made. And so now this is an opportunity for families who are new to this city, just coming back, or families who want to transfer for whatever reason, to take a last shot at making sure that they can get a school that they feel is the best fit for their child.
And everything happens at
Dillard University.
Okay.
So Dillard has been an incredible partner this year. We wanted to make sure that families had great accommodations. It's a hard process to go through when it's, mentally challenging for families to kind of go through the wait and see of where your child will go to school, right? So we wanted to make it as accommodating and friendly as possible, make sure services were on hand. High school, parents looking for high school slots can come July 8th through the 10th, K-8 slots all of next week, and you guys will be on site to make sure that you can provide families with bills for residency. Adults need to bring their IDs to make sure that they have everything they need. The immunization bus will also be present, and Urban League and other community partners will be there to provide assistance.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, but I know we're involved in a program called C2C, which offers free computers.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing that
and
program.
Reduced rate internet
service. Because we're involved, I've learned so much about Enroll NOLA. If you miss this, what happens if you miss this? I mean, that's it, right?
Well, actually, the opportunity to go to Dillard to have a one-on-one is just through the 17th, but then you can visit the family centers up until the start of school, all of the RSD family centers.
Erica, your website is urbanleagueneworleans.org.
Yes.
Information about Enroll NOLA can be found on you guys' website as well?
Ours and enrollnola.org.
Okay, enrollnola.org.
So families can just go, and the seats that are available in all the different schools are going to be updated every day at 7 a.m. on enrollnola.org.
Okay. They're getting ready to start throwing things at me. We're running out of time. Erica, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate it. We have one more guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. You know, we always save the best guest for last, and we're doing that today with Michelle Gagne. Michelle is the executive director for just an incredible organization in New Orleans, Bridge House, Grace House. We always love having you and Kevin on the show because I got to tell you from my heart, this is one of my most favorite organizations for what you guys do. Congratulations on all the work that you do. And you do so much, we could spend 30 minutes. Michelle, talk real quick about some of the core programs you're involved in, and then we've got a big event we're going to talk about.
Okay. So I'm the Executive Director of Clinical Services for Bridge House and Grace House. Bridge House and Grace House provide long-term residential substance abuse treatment for men and women who have basically lost everything. Many of our individuals by the time they get to us, they're homeless. They have no insurance, no job. They've lost their family support because of their addiction. So because of that, we really need long-term treatment to focus not only on them gaining sobriety and a support system, but also to get them back in the workforce and to get them into housing.
And I've always thought that, I mean, you guys are like, I hate to say it this way, but you guys are like the last line for living almost. I mean, without you guys, where would people go?
We really are. And when people come to us, they have nowhere else to go. They really don't. They don't have many options. They've tried individual therapy. They've tried outpatient therapy. They've tried 28-day inpatient programs, and none of that's worked for them. So by the time they come to us, they really have a need for that long-term residential component.
Well, I know you got a big event coming up, the Top Female Achievers event.
Yes.
Let's talk about that real quick and what all that's involved in.
Every year, New Orleans Magazine honors us as the beneficiary of their Top Female Achievers Luncheon. So this year, the Top Female Achievers Luncheon is at the Board of Trade. Traditionally, this has been a luncheon, and I said luncheon, but traditionally it's been a luncheon. This year, it's actually an evening event. It's from 6 to 8 on Wednesday, July 22nd, and all proceeds will benefit Bridge House and Grace House.
That's awesome. And your website is bridgehouse.org. All the information about the event can be found on the website and so forth. And again, I want to point out, it is a fundraiser. You guys do so much, and you need money to do what you do. So when we have Kevin on the show, I mean, almost 99% of all the money you guys raise goes right back into the organization. I think that's awesome.
It all goes back to the individuals we serve. And the Top Female Achievers benefit is $30 a ticket, so it's very affordable. It's a nice evening event, cocktails and hors d'oeuvres after work.
I mean, I love dinner events. I think going from a luncheon to a dinner, you may even have more success at it. They're giving me the wrap-up sign, Michelle, as always, to you and Kevin both. God bless you. Thank you for what you guys do.
Well,
You've been watching Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, and we will see you next time.